Hello and welcome once again to the FwdCompatible podcast. This is episode 83, part 1 for September 8th, 2013. My name's Tony and I'm joined as always by my fellow podcasters Jason, Masis, and Brian. How's everybody doing today?
So we're not even going to explain that Mark's not here because he's at work. It's just like...
I was going to get to that. Well, obviously... Okay, I'll get to it now. Obviously, Mark's missing this week. We have a group function later on this evening that Mark's going to be attending with us, so we can't record any later today. So he has to work, so the show must go on. But he'll be back next week. Nothing's wrong. Everything's A-okay. So how's everybody's week been?
Exciting.
What happened? Anything cool? Stuff that you'll get to in a minute?
Yes, video game stuff.
Yes, video game stuff.
Went to the flea market this morning, woke up at 5:30 a.m.
Oof.
It was a miss, though.
Nothing good?
Well, I go look exclusively for, like, old Nintendo games. And there was only 2 people selling them today. And then both vendors that are there every week.
So nothing new, nothing...
No good deals or anything like that?
No. The vendors there... When you go to a flea market, there's like 2 different types of deals. There's vendors, and then there's people who, like, instead of doing a garage sale, they just pay
bring all their stuff.
It's $20 to rent the table for
something, yeah. And if they've got like so many different things like movies, clothes, random garage tools, and then a box of video games, and you'll see like 10 NES games, and then they'll be like how much are the Nintendo games? $3 a piece. If they say that, if they give you a fixed price per game, you know that you can hit a jackpot there.
Because they don't know what they're doing, and you're just like, all right.
If you ask them how much per game, and they say it depends on the game,
Or they say it's priced.
yeah, just get the hell out of there.
Mm.
So I have to get there at 6 a.m. because what happens is there's the one vendor that's there every week, and I think a second vendor, he might be there this year. They run the floor. They literally have somebody just walk up and down the aisle, see if any other sellers have video games, buy them, take it back to their booth. So it's all bullshit and it's bad for you.
I should have had you pick me up because the guy is still there. He makes homemade beef jerky, and he has olives stuffed with jalapenos, homemade. Fucking delicious.
Okay.
No.
I don't think I saw that. All we bought today were we got an oversized Pikachu plush doll.
Sweet.
And we bought some Mickey Mouse stuff.
Now, I know you tend to primarily go there for old NES stuff, right? Do they happen at... Because I'm looking for certain rarer old consoles.
But there was a seller with 2,600 games today. But,
that I have boatloads of. I'm actually looking for like some weird stuff. I'm looking for like a 32X.
Do you want to build a
like,
tower of power?
Just the Genesis next to the Sega CD with the 32X stacked on top of it with the Game Genie inside of that, and then the Sonic
converter,
and then the Sonic and Knuckles that opens up with Sonic 2 inside of that. No. I want to collect some of the stuff I wasn't able to get when I was younger. That was one of the ones I skipped on, was the 32X. I know there's not many games for it. It's more for just having its sake. And I know they don't cost too much, and they're not that hard to find, but it'd be cooler if I could find some guy who doesn't know what he has and pick it up for $10 instead of getting it for $50 or whatever. So
I'll keep my eyes open. Usually they only have mainstream. It's mostly recent stuff. You'll find there was maybe 15 vendors that had some form of PS3 or PS2 or 360 games.
yeah.
I think I saw a Dreamcast console. A guy had a GameCube console. But older stuff, the only older stuff you'll ever see is usually 2600 stuff, NES stuff, and Super NES, because there's just so much of it.
Yeah.
I'll keep my eyes open. I'm probably going to go every Sunday for the next month and a half. So
Cool. Maybe I'll pop in with you one day. I wouldn't go to bed, though. I got home at 5 this morning from work.
Oh, that's perfect. I wake up 5:30. It starts at 6. Go there, come home, and fall asleep for a few hours.
No.
I miss when it actually used to be indoors.
They still have the indoor one on Palatine. But
Yeah, that went too far, though. I'm talking about the one that was on North and Manheim.
Very, very interesting for our
I don't
listeners
care.
who live outside of Chicago.
I used to go Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings when I used to own a card shop because I'd go buy cheap Yu-Gi-Oh cards. They'd hook me up with a deal and HeroClix, and then take them back to my shop.
A lot of card dealers there.
Yeah.
But anyway,
All right. Well, I suppose we kick off the show with our weekly round. You look like you wanted to say something.
No, not really.
All right, then let's kick off the show with our weekly roundtable and catch everybody up on what we've been playing since the last time we all spoke. Usually Mark kicks us off. We'll just go that way, I suppose, then?
That's fine.
Sorry.
It's all in shambles today. It's all in
Okay.
shambles.
So, I did a little bit of gaming on my laptop because I was house sitting and pet sitting for the last week. I finally played Gone Home, which was fantastic.
Don't ruin anything for me because I want to play that.
It's like 2.5 hours long. It's great.
Yeah?
It's so good. It's like if you look at like the cost per hour ratio, it's not great. But like what you get out of it is really good. I mean, it's the same as like going to see a movie if you think about it. It's very well written. It's a great environment, fantastic. I don't want to ruin anything. I wrote a little review of it on my site, but I didn't really go into too much detail because I don't want to ruin it for anybody that plays it. But I highly recommend it for anyone who likes stories.
I've heard absolutely nothing but great things coming from
great.
that game.
It's
It
great.
went totally under my radar. I've
Yeah.
only heard of it in the last 2 weeks because of the amount of
Yeah.
positive feedback it's been getting from absolutely everybody. Unfortunately, it's only on PC, right?
No, it's Mac, PC, Linux.
So it's only on PC.
Well, okay, yeah, but it can run on almost any PC.
I meant it's not on on an actual game.
No, it's not on a console. No.
I guess I have to boot up the old. I have to
Yeah.
boot up the old PC to play that guy.
Yeah.
It's on Steam, yeah.
It is on Steam.
What is it? $15? $10?
$20.
20
It was on
for a
sale.
2 hour
It was on
game.
sale for a while. Well, you can probably get depending on how quickly you go through it and how good you are at solving. I put the word puzzles in quotes because they're not really puzzles, but there is stuff to figure out as you go through the house. And for those of you who don't know, the general premise is you play this girl who just came home from a year abroad. Your family moved around the same time you left to go abroad. You come home, no one picks up the phone when you call home. You get home at like 1 in the morning, no one's at the house, and you got to figure out where everybody is.
It's a horror game.
It feels like a horror game because you're alone in a mansion, which feels like a Resident Evil-y type of thing.
Ugh.
But I will say that it's, without giving too much away, it's more about suspense.
Okay.
There's no way to die in the game. You
Okay.
you won't even get stuck. It's more about presenting an interesting narrative
I see.
and an engrossing
It sounds like
world.
Prey, but without the interesting narrative. Prey was awful, but you couldn't die, and it was
Oh,
minor puzzles that needed to
yeah.
be solved.
No. This is more about experiencing a story and being involved in the world. Everything in the house just about is in some way interactive. You can open like every drawer and open all the stuff. You can interact with a lot of things in the house, but most of the things are all incidental. They don't really mean anything. There will be clues here and there, but they're not really. Clues is kind of like not the word because you're just trying to figure out what happened.
No.
And the game kind of leads you through the story. It's set up in such a way that
Okay.
yeah, it's really good though. It's really good. Highly recommend it. Other than that, I finally played Borderlands a little bit, or Borderlands 2 rather. They finally fixed the controller issues on the Mac version, so I actually played it on my Mac, which was fun. Basically, what had happened was there are no official Microsoft drivers for the Xbox controller on the Mac, but somebody made third-party drivers, and the
Okay.
people who ported Borderlands 2 to the Mac didn't support those drivers that everybody else uses. They wrote their own. And it only supported the wired controller, whereas the third-party one supports the wired controller, the joystick, the wireless, pretty much anything that's an Xbox controller.
Doesn't like Steam not support the wireless?
Steam does.
The wireless one?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steam does. Just
They actually
Borderlands
they have
2.
a whole mode for it now.
Yeah.
Big screen mode. They've supported it for quite some time, but
Yeah.
it was more or less on an individual game basis. Now they started something a year and a half ago called Big Screen Mode, and what they're essentially trying to do is become a console as well. You have your option where you can plug it into your TV and just run it off your 360 controller.
Okay.
From
All right.
sitting back, it'll completely navigate. You could do everything from the 360 controller.
Okay. I remember when I was playing Darksiders, I couldn't use a wireless controller. Darksiders 2, I needed to get a wired 360 controller. But
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It was unnecessary. They could have just used the third-party drivers and it would have worked fine. They didn't do that. So they fixed that, and I was playing that for a while, which was fun.
Sweet. How about yourself, good sir?
I've been playing a lot of Wii U this past week.
Wii U.
Picked up Pikmin 3. I wish Mark was here because I know he's a Pikmin fan.
He is.
And you played Pikmin 3?
He's on the verge of buying one for that game.
I never played Pikmin 1 or 2. Did you play Pikmin 1 or 2? No.
Yes.
I never really tried it. It's not that I hated it or not like it. It just seemed not my thing. So I picked up I love it. It's amazing. It's so addicting. It's like, it's the genre. I don't even know what genre Pikmin is. It's like a puzzle game. It's like,
But it's kind of wrapped up
strategy.
in an RTS.
Yeah, it's an RTS.
Yeah.
RTS puzzle strategy.
Where you're not specifically controlling the guys, you're just kind of telling them what to do, and they do their own animations.
Yeah, like it goes. Did the first two go by like a day cycle?
Yes.
Okay. This one keeps the day cycle, and like each day I think is like 20 minutes, maybe, or 15 minutes.
Yeah, around there.
And like when I first put it in, I ended up playing like 7 days in a row. Like, I turned on I was like, oh, let me try this, and like 2 hours later, I'm
Strangely addicted.
engrossed into the game. It's really good, and I would have probably beaten it by now because I was so addicted to it. But I got my copy of Wind Waker HD in,
Dun, 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 dun,
so that put a permanent halt to Pikmin 3 for the next little while. So I've been playing Wind Waker HD, and been working on the guide for it, just upgrading the existing guide on Zelda Dungeon. And it's good. It's an HD remake.
How do you feel about some of the changes?
I'm not very far in the game. I'm only, I'd say, about 2.5 hours in. So, because I've been doing the guide too. I'm not just playing it casually.
Yeah.
And the first 2.5 hours, there's very minuscule changes. Its graphics are upgraded, obviously. The button scheme there's more buttons. That's for sure. I mean, there's more, key assigned buttons. So it makes it easier to. In the touchscreen, you can manage your inventory. It's a lot easier. But there's very few changes. Everything's literally exactly as it was in the game. All the side quests, at least up until this point. I know there are changes later on down the road, but I haven't yet experienced that. And I haven't tried the hero mode either. The one thing that's different about the hero mode,
That's the thing I'm most curious about, but go ahead, yeah.
it's not a separate game file, or like, I don't know if any of you guys played Ocarina of Time 3D or Skyward Sword. They had a hero mode that was unlocked after, it was the Master Quest in Ocarina of Time. It was double damage, not, in Skyward Sword there was no recovery hearts. It's basically the same thing as the Skyward Sword one. There's double damage and no recovery hearts. But it's not its own mode. It's when you go to start your game, when you go to the select file, you do the select file and you can would you like to play on normal mode or hero mode? And you can just toggle it back and forth as you play through your quest. So
Okay.
So if you're having trouble with, or if you want a challenge, you put it on. If you suck,
Throw it back down.
yeah.
But last quick question: have you heard any differences in the music?
I believe there are upgrades to the music. There,
Okay.
we posted about this a few days ago.
I know it wasn't for
Yeah.
sure. Like I guess the Japanese trailer, the music score that was redone, but is that actually in the game? Have you not really focused?
I've noticed that
It-
Windfall sounds
Yeah, there is some differences.
Okay.
It's Wind Waker had great music to begin
Yeah,
with,
that's-
and,
yeah.
and it's probably one of the best musical Zelda games, I'd say. You notice it, but it's not like a full.
Yeah, you're not
Overwhelming
going MIDI
difference.
to
Yeah, right. Yeah. So, but it's good. I'll report more next week.
Rock on. As for myself, actually just a little bit ago while I was waiting for these guys to get over here, I was playing a little Gears of War 2 Horde mode. That was fun. I forgot how much I love that game. I'm now 1 trophy away from the platinum. Well, 2 if you count the platinum in Uncharted Golden Abyss. It's this BS trophy that is all luck. Because it's a drop rate trophy.
Oh.
And it's assigned to a specific 3 chapters within the game. So all you can literally do is just keep replaying the 3.
And hope.
Stop, quit game, start back at it's chapter 2, 3, and 4. Restart chapter 2, play through. It's a grind. It has nothing to do with skill or talent, or it's just when the game feels like dropping it. And I'm missing. They're these like tarot cards that tell a secret story off to the side if you into that stuff, like artifacts. And I'm missing 2 or 3 of them. So there's This past week, I played those 3 chapters about 6 times and didn't get any of them. But the week before that, I got 2 of them, and it's just a grind. You're playing the same thing. I'm memorizing the levels. I know exactly where the one dude's gonna pop out, and it's just.
This is awful use of a trophy system.
It's
right here.
it's a terrible trophy.
Well,
It's a
I've never
terrible.
been a fan of drop stuff.
It's a terrible
unless
trophy.
It's fairly frequent. Like I hate it's got
It's
a
not fair.
41% chance of dropping. Fuck it, not doing it.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
A trophy should never be based off a drop rate. So, as soon as I finally get all the last of the tarot cards, the platinum will unlock as well, and I'll be done with that game. Restarted GoldenEye Reloaded, which I finished on the Wii, bought it for the 360, played 2 chapters, and said I don't really want to play this again. But I popped it back in and started playing it again. So that's also been taking a little bit of my time up. So, yeah.
I should have gone first because all I did was more Plants vs Zombies.
Yeah. Is that all you play these days?
Well, that's all I've had time for. It's been a busy couple of weeks with different things going on, so I really haven't had a time to sit down and play anything. I did get to watch Iron Man 3, if that matters. I mean, it was on my Xbox. Does that
Did you
count?
play? Oh, I played some. We played some Disney Infinity after the
Yeah,
podcast
you guys
last
did. We
week.
played it for a few minutes.
Oh, yeah.
For a few minutes,
Not impressed.
Okay, it was a
Yeah.
3D action adventure game. Like, you
Real,
know, it's-
weird controls.
I still haven't played it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I think Skylanders is better done. But Disney Infinity has cooler characters.
Granted, I only played the Pirates level.
And there's something cool coming up for it.
For about
which I'm sure
20,
we'll talk
25
about later.
minutes or so.
I don't know if that's on there.
I thought it was
It's not on
okay.
there.
I
I don't think that's
Better than
user
I
generated content, isn't it?
No.
Is it official content?
Yeah.
I thought it was user generated.
No. Well, if it's not in the news, then we can go ahead and say it. They're doing a BioShock Infinite level for it.
I thought that was user generated.
No.
I didn't realize.
No,
that was
it's
actually-
official.
Does Disney
Really?
own Bioshock?
No.
No.
That's why everybody was kind of in
Because,
shock. Everybody's like,
that is not Disney material.
Irrational Games has been really good at collaborating with everyone. They don't care.
Okay.
They collaborated with Sony when they did that
So they're acting.
PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale to get the Big Daddy
Mhm.
and a Rapture scene put into the game, and they're collaborating obviously with Disney with this.
It's just surprising because it doesn't seem to fit in with the Disney
Right.
mold in terms of like racism. I mean, I guess racism fits the Disney mold because Walt Disney was a huge racist.
Jungle Book, Jesus.
The Jungle Book. Look up Song of the South sometime. Woo.
I'm interested now. I
They
don't know what this
deny
is.
that
Have you
movie
seen
exists,
Jungle
more or
Book
less.
after the age of 6 or 7 years old? Maybe even 8 or 9. Go
No.
back and
I
watch it.
haven't
It
seen
is
it
a
in a long time.
racist ass
I
movie,
think
man.
the cool thing about it though is it's a way to get like a parent who would sit down and play BioShock
Mhm.
to play Disney Infinity with his kid.
That's possible. It's
Yeah.
possible to draw in extra people.
Mhm.
It just doesn't. It just like I don't see Monsters Inc. and like Booker DeWitt ever crossing paths. I mean, I guess technically the way BioShock Infinite is written, that could actually happen, but
Technically, it could.
it's a little weird.
Infinite possibilities, good
Infinite
sir.
possibilities.
I know it's completely off topic, but have you ever heard of the theory behind the Pixar movies? How they're all tied together
I've heard about
with,
that.
with Boo. That she's actually a time traveler, and she's in like every single thing. Like she's the little old lady from Brave, I think it was. Because in the background, one of the pictures in Brave, there's a picture of a monster and a door, and it's
Oh,
that,
really?
Yeah, and that she was looking to find her way back to Sully.
Mhm.
It's really weird. Like even the Cars universe ties into everything else.
I don't remember seeing her anywhere in Finding Nemo.
I don't remember how it ties
Yes!
into Finding Nemo. There's a whole
Someone
it's-
has done like a thesis on this.
Yes.
There's like a huge 15-minute
Mhm.
video where they've tied it all together. I haven't watched it, but I have heard of it.
Think of pre-Hyrule Historia, how everyone tried to tie all the Zeldas together. That's what they're doing with the Pixar movies.
I think people are looking way too far into this. I think it's just them sending homages to themselves.
just having fun.
Video games do this all the time.
Yeah.
The Last of Us walked by a Jack and Daxter picture. It doesn't mean there's like some cross thing where they're all
Uncharted.
the
There was a
Uncharted
newspaper.
plushies.
Well, no, there
Yeah.
was a newspaper about the outbreak.
The outbreak. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's. I assure you, this is just them referencing
No,
their
from-
own stuff
from
from
Last
Last
of
of
Us.
Us.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is just them referencing their own creations, like for little subtle,
Yeah.
like hey, I caught that, like little Easter eggs and stuff. That's
Right.
it. I don't know.
Would you have cried if in Last of Us one of the what are they called clickers was dressed like Nathan Drake came running at you?
Nathan Drake.
Why do I have to
man.
kill him?
Spoilers.
It's just jeans and like a t-shirt.
And he just said, what was it? Oh shit, and just came running at you.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's about it.
awesome, actually. If they just.
Well, the
What do you mean?
clickers
Oh
don't.
crap!
No,
Is
oh,
that what you're
crap, there
talking
you go,
about?
yeah.
Clickers don't talk.
Oh crap!
But if that one did, somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, Plants vs Zombies. I beat the Wild West.
Good for you, sir.
Yeah.
I'm still on Egypt. I haven't played much. It is fun though.
Right.
Dirty, sexy, news.
I went already.
Dirty.
Are you ready for the? This is listen.
Mark does.
Mark's the
sexy.
dirty sexy news. Mine's just competent.
Just competent news.
It's time for competent news. With your host,
Same
Brian.
jingle. Anyone else hear the Impoverished Geek song that I made?
I think I did. I can't recall though.
Impoverished Geek's got its own jingle now.
Does it?
Competent news. That's awesome.
Ding, fries are done.
What does that
ding,
say about
fries are
Mark?
done, Ding, fries are done. Ding,
No,
fries
no,
are
that
done.
wasn't the intention. That was not the intention.
Oh.
So dirty and sexy is more exciting than competent. So his line is just, it'll.
I don't even remember where dirty, sexy news came from.
I don't know, but it's stuff.
We used to call them sexy news stories.
I don't even remember where sexy news came from.
That was like the big story.
Yeah,
This
the
was back
sexy,
during
the
the old
sexy
days.
news of the week was
This was like during Gen
Maybe,
1.
maybe we should save the dirty sexy
We've been-
news for the.
We've been almost
part
doing
two.
this 2 years. There's been a lot of golden jokes that have been lost over the course of these episodes. A lot of stuff we don't refer anymore. It's good stuff.
stupid.
All right.
Stupid.
All right.
Competent news story number 1.
Let's begin with something simple. It doesn't affect gaming that much, but September 10th is the big Apple event where they'll probably announce the new iPhone.
See
The
what
only-
happens when you put people in charge of competent news.
Here's the thing.
Mark would have never allowed
The
this.
only
I
reason,
would've brought
the
it up.
only reason I'm bringing it up is because iOS 7 does add proper, full OS level support for Bluetooth controllers.
Oh.
So it's built into the OS now. So rather than having to write their own drivers for each game using different controllers, there's one set of drivers that are
Damn, he brought it full circle.
So what controllers can you use?
anything that does standard Bluetooth. I would
But
think.
there's the possibility that Apple could reveal their Bluetooth controller too.
Oh,
That's
it
been
would
rumored.
probably suck. Because they don't know how to, I'm sorry, one thing Apple does not know how to do is design
Do
for
anything?
gaming.
What did I tell you? You're gonna make it
man.
fuck up again.
I just like giving them shit.
Anyway,
Like, I've never
don't care.
owned an
I
Apple
don't care.
product, but like it's.
I really don't
hey,
care.
cool story,
I just
bro.
like.
I'm gonna.
They get red in the ears.
No.
They like.
I'm. You know.
Fuming.
You know how he said he doesn't like what I do to the jingle of Tony's topic of the week. Everything he says from this point forward is going to sound like a chipmunk.
That's cool. I ain't scared.
the whole time. Yeah.
You ain't scared.
I ain't scared.
All right. Next bit of news: Nokia bought Microsoft devices and services, or Microsoft bought Nokia.
It's like, wait a minute.
It's like it's the
devices
other
and
way around, dude.
services.
Yeah.
Again, probably may not have too much of an effect on gaming, except for the fact that Microsoft wants to push more games onto the Windows Phone OS. It was 7.7 billion US dollars, or 5 billion euro. Nokia does still exist on its own, but it's doing other stuff. It won't be doing the phones or the mapping or any of that stuff anymore.
I
Lots
remember,
of-
I remember
sorry.
when Nokia was relevant.
I had some good Nokia phones back in the day. I used to love the N series. The N90 was pretty cool.
I don't know why they're wasting the money. It's Android versus iOS. Like
Don't touch.
Because
Just moving over
Microsoft
here.
wants to be in that game, and Nokia
No,
makes some of the
yeah, I
best
don't
Windows
blame them.
phones.
I-
That's
I-
what it is.
I think Windows. I like the Windows tablet. Like if I were to buy
Surface?
a tablet, I think that, like I think like desktops and laptops are they're fading away,
Sorry, I got something in my
and
throat.
like people like the tablets, but they want the keyboard, and I think this solves it better than anything else does.
Nothing that you can't spend $30 on a Logitech keyboard for.
Well, I don't think they want that. They like it. It's built into the casing.
The only well, I haven't messed with the Surface Pro too much. I have seen them on display, and I have considered one. The one problem I have is a lot of those built-in cases that combine with the tablets have smaller than a standard size keyboard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the ones that come with the Surface are standard size or not, because it's a 10-inch display, so it may not be big enough to hold a standard size keyboard.
Right.
That's why I have a regular Bluetooth keyboard for my iPad, because I type a lot, and the smaller keyboard is hard to move between the smaller one and the bigger one.
No, but I think it's the convenience factor.
Well, it is convenient.
The thing
but
about you don't want to like bring a keyboard with you when
I do at this point. If I actually plan on doing actual typing, I would have the keyboard with me. I mean, it depends how much typing you're gonna do. If you're just gonna type like a paragraph, you can do that on the screen, no problem. If you're tapping something for an extended period of time, where you want a keyboard, those touch keyboards that they have are not good enough.
Right.
They're better than
Yeah,
the
I agree.
touchscreen, but they're not good enough for full-on real typing. Now, there's that second mechanical keyboard that they have. I have not seen that on display anywhere. I'd like to try that, but I think it's still going to be too small compared to a standard
For me,
size.
Windows, their best bet is they're on the right track because I was at Best Buy the other day.
Mm-hmm.
They're way too much money right now. They're these things. I'm not even sure what they're called. They're tablets and laptops in one. Where
That's what.
Yeah, the Surface Pro.
it's not the Surface.
No,
I know.
there's
I
other
know what the
brands.
Surface.
There's
I
other
know what the
brands.
Surface
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
This is a full-on laptop.
Mm-hmm.
It flips up and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the
and when
Yoga
you
and
want
stuff like
the
that.
screen is on a
Like a
a
hinge
pivot
and
where
flip.
it turns
Yeah.
completely over. You flip it down, and now you have a tablet, and you have a full-size regular keyboard. This is like a 14, 15-inch device, not a little 10-inch screen like a tablet.
It's too big for it to be a tablet. It's too heavy.
I don't know. With like regular tablets, I still think it's just iOS and Android. I don't see
I agree.
where Microsoft's niche could be found if they further went into what I'm saying. But I was looking at them; they're like $1,100. It's like, dude, I get a sick laptop for $400,
Yeah.
and a regular tablet for $400. That's sick too.
Yeah.
Like, it's just too much money.
Well, and the thing is, Microsoft wants to combine all their stuff into one ecosystem. They want, Windows Phone, Windows RT, and Windows 8. But they're not really combining them. They're still three separate ecosystems that just have the same name. I think it's really confusing to people because, like, the Windows regular Surface tablet and several other Windows tablets, the RT tablets, they don't run the full Windows suite. They just run Windows RT. So it's a mess.
Excuse me.
I've heard really good things about the Surface Pro and stuff like it, though, and I can see why someone would want that. Like, if you ever, like, the Penny Arcade guy, Gabe, loves his Surface Pro because he's an artist, and it has a Wacom tablet built into it. So for $900, you get a Wacom tablet with a full PC in it. That's really good, and you can take it anywhere. That's a good deal. Battery life's only like 4 or 5 hours, but that's still not bad. So that's compelling, but I don't think it's there yet.
I don't think this is a bad thing.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a clear in the middle of what's actually going to work.
But let me ask you this:
A necessary step.
bring it back
if
to
you
the
will.
Nokia
But go ahead.
purchase?
Yeah.
No, I'm actually bringing back the video gaming.
Oh, the video gaming. Okay, sorry.
Look at
Flash-
Boss tying it all in.
Flashback to 2000,
Yeah.
and we had the Sega with the Dreamcast, Nintendo coming with the GameCube, and we had the PS2, and there was so much hatred for Microsoft because they're getting into the video game market. When there's already 3 consoles, why do we need a 4th? And look, flash forward 13 years later, and they're the premier player with Sony.
I
So-
apologize. I haven't eaten yet, so I got goldfish. In case somebody hears rustling on the mic.
I think we should.
Should all just blankly stare at him for a few seconds?
Fine,
No,
I'll-
but like I think there was that same like why are you doing this? There's already alternatives out there, but it's an investment, long term.
And I think the mobile could become a bigger market. I mean, with the iOS having controller support, I have the iCade joystick, and I have used it, and it does work okay for gaming. But gaming has to be programmed to support it. So with built-in support, it works better. And Windows could be adding that, and that could be useful as well.
That's the other thing. The Windows,
Or Windows Phone, I
the
should
Windows
say, or Windows RT.
Store or whatever is barren.
It's not good. No, it's
You know what I mean? Like iOS, and because I got an iPod Touch, so I'm very familiar with the App Store, and I'm on Android with my tablet and my phone, so I know both stores very well. And they're so deep with
Yes.
everything. You can look up any one thing, and there's a million things that do it. And then you go on the Windows market. I was playing around my buddy's Windows phone. Something simple isn't even there yet,
yeah.
as opposed to iOS and Android that have 50 versions of it.
Right. Yeah, no, it's
So-
true. It's a problem. And I think their purchase of Nokia is a hope that they can bring it more to the forefront by integrating integrating the two companies more, getting better communication between them. And Nokia does make some really good camera phones, but they're running Windows Phone, which is the problem.
Well, it's good for them. I mean,
It's
I
good
like
for them,
I
yeah.
like Windows on my computer, and I don't mind Xbox. So stay afloat, Microsoft. But this personally, I don't care. I'm already on Team Android. I'm not going anywhere.
Fair enough. Okay, continuing on with Microsoft news, because there's a lot of it. The Xbox One is getting a whole 150 megahertz speed boost, and it's launching November 22nd. And it will not support external storage at launch, but it won't be selling at a loss.
Are we gonna go one at a time? or- Jesus.
Yeah, let's, yeah, okay. So
Slow your roll.
let's-
Slow your roll.
okay.
Okay, what's the first
So-
one?
So the first one, yeah, no, I'm trying to decide how we should shoot through this. So the 150 megahertz speed boost, I don't think it's going to make a difference for gaming, but it could help stability and frame rates a little bit.
Hey, more power is more power.
More power is more power.
They decided to up it at the last second, right
yeah,
before
it's
they
a very
went into
small
full
boost.
production.
It's less than 10%.
I don't know what any of that means, but hey, it's a bigger number, and
A few extra cycles per second.
bigger's better unless you're playing golf. So
To me, this is irrelevant because even if they didn't up it, third parties would just develop for the weaker anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's better for the game, right?
Ace is being really annoying today.
It's launching November 22nd after Sony
well,
Bad move.
in the States.
in the States. Did they say it anywhere else?
Well, see, the thing
Because
is,
they keep cutting back on when they're releasing it.
Sony's the 15th in North America and the
Right.
29th in Europe.
Okay.
Microsoft is the 22nd everywhere.
Okay.
Well, everywhere that is included in their 13 countries.
Mm-hmm.
So they're technically beating them out in everywhere outside of North America, which
Mm-hmm.
is where they're. I think. I don't know if this is going to pay off or not with Microsoft, but they're putting a lot of eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
They're just assuming they won the states.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
the only region not getting a free pack-in. It's coming out a week later. They're not doing much. I think they just assuming they're going to take over the states, and they got their ass kicked in Europe. And I think that's why they're throwing in a lot of free pack-ins. They're trying to beat Sony out to the punch. All these other things are being thrown their way to try to entice them to come over. Go ahead, I'm
I do
sorry.
think they're putting a lot of they're pushing for Europe because that's a growing market. The U.S. is it's kind of stagnant, but I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they assume that they won. I think they assume that they have a fair market share there, but I think they're worried about completely losing Eastern Europe. But they're not launching in enough countries, so it doesn't matter because they might do well in UK. They already own the UK. I mean that's Microsoft territory, really.
Yeah.
It's almost just as much in the United States as it is in the UK in terms of the ratio.
Yeah.
But I mean, sure, they're putting an extra push in France and Germany or whatever, but not enough countries that they're launching it. So I don't think it's as relevant as it seems.
Yeah. Rock on.
And November 22nd is
It's a huge day now.
I'm
Don't
not,
we have
I'm,
more?
not, I'm gonna walk into GameStop on that midnight and be like, I need my copy of Super Mario 3D World.
I need my 2DS.
And A Link Between Worlds. Because they both launched.
Everybody else is walking out with Xbox. You got Moss 4 Nintendo games. That's gonna be an expensive day because if this 3DS deal doesn't work out for myself personally, I might go grab the 2DS that day.
That doesn't launch that day. That comes out in.
Isn't it
A
the
month.
20? Isn't it the
No.
22nd?
No, just Mario 3D World and A Link Between Worlds.
What's the date on the 2DS then? I thought it was
Same day as
Pokemon.
Pokemon. October 20th, 10th, 4th, something.
Yeah, something. Early October.
14th, 13th, 28th.
Niner. Hike.
I for some reason I thought it was November 22nd as well. Maybe I was getting confused with Mario then. Yeah, that's a big day then.
All right. The Xbox One will not support external storage at launch.
You don't need it at launch.
You don't need it at launch,
You have
but it's kind
500
of funny
gigs.
that it's not there.
This could
Why?
get patched in two.
Because
This
that
could
means you
get
have to. Well, if it works the way that Wii U does, it means you have to move everything over after you.
this could
I
get
don't know
patched
whether
in
they're gonna
a
do it or
week
not.
after launch.
What-
It's just not ready at launch.
Why is it not ready? What is difficult about
That's
this?
what I'm saying. It's a weird
Pirating.
thing not to have.
Pirating. It's the same way the PS3 won't let you keep too much externally because it freaks out within the PS3. Same reason the Vita went with the proprietary memory cards
Don't work or anything else.
that everybody's complaining about. They did it so it wasn't as easy to emulate like the PSP was. The PSP went with standard memory, and they got screwed on it. So now they went with proprietary, and everybody's like, "Oh, they're so expensive." Well, they're proprietary.
Okay.
They're saving their own ass.
They're way too expensive though.
The thing that would solve this that Microsoft isn't doing that PS4 is, and I wish PS4 would address this more technically at this point, is having a swappable internal. That's fine if you don't want to support external, but you have to have a swappable internal. Use a standard laptop drive. Let me know the size so I can have one waiting. So day one, so I don't have to re-download everything. Day one, as soon as I get it home, I could pop in a terabyte or 2 terabytes and not think about it for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I'm doing with my PS4 day one. I'm going to pop in the biggest drive that fits at that time. So, I don't know. It's kind of lame that they're not swappable and it won't support external, but it'll be patched in before you have 500 gigs worth of stuff. So I'm not worried about it.
Okay. Apparently, the Xbox One will not be losing money at launch. They may be actually turning a small profit on it, which is surprising because it is fairly low cost.
I heard this story, and I've been giving it some thought. There was also another story that came out at the same time about the life cycle of Microsoft Studios, how much they've lost. They're in the hole $3 billion for the last 10 years.
Yeah, but
because all the money they lost
from day one, you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think they peaked in 2011 in terms of profits.
Mm-hmm.
12 very
Well,
narrow
11 was a
margin.
big year for them. They had Forza 4, they had Gears of War 3, and they had Halo Reach.
Right?
So 3 of their 4 studios popped out a big, and those games all did like 8, 9, 10 million. So
2012, I think, was narrow because of the R&D that started to go in for.
Mm-hmm.
But they're in the hole still.
Yeah.
In the long run.
I wouldn't doubt
They made money and they didn't become profitable, I think, until 08, 09, 010, 11. 010.
11
Uh,
seems legit.
So they're still, like, in terms of the long-term investment, I guess maybe they don't want to, like, double dip in terms of their finances really here. They don't want to go negative. Maybe maybe if they cut the price $50 or $100, they can sell more units. Maybe they don't think that benefit is worth it at this point, and they need to make money.
See, this is something a lot of people out there don't get, is like, this is why the Wii U they weren't freaking out, because they were making money. If you just gave these things away, if you put a huge price cut and everybody bought one, say it needed to be $350 to turn out a $10 profit for Nintendo, and they gave these things away for $200, they now lost $140 per unit. You'd have to buy 3 or 4 pieces of software
To make
just for them to break even. They're losing money, big money on every sale.
Well, it's
and
not
if they
three or four
and if
they
they
don't
didn't,
get that full price of the game. They get like
I'm just
$60.
trying to
Right.
make easy numbers here.
It's not even
And
that.
it-
It's not even that, because I don't even think the price per console takes into effect the R&D and the marketing. That's
Well, I'm
the
just-
physical.
Yeah, I know.
You're keeping it simple,
Just trying to keep numbers easy. So, and then if you bought that and you cost them $140 now, and you buy one piece of software, they still are losing money. It's better for them not to sell it to you. They have to make it enticing enough where they know you're going to buy 10 pieces of software, where they could get their money back and start making money off of you. So Microsoft might not be super worried. Maybe, sure, they could sell 10 million of these if it costed $250, but they'd have to get a lot more investment out of those 10 million units, where if they just sell 1 million and make money on every single one.
What I get out of this piece of information, there will be a price cut in the first calendar year of the Xbox One.
That's
I really
possible.
do think so,
or
because
the first 18 months at the very least.
because they know the people are going to buy it on day one at 500. They probably would buy it at 550. Those people, but come summertime, maybe late early fall, in time for 2014 holiday. By then maybe they'll be able to drive the cost down a little bit, where they can do a substantial, maybe a
$100 cut or something.
Yeah, because if they're already making profit on it, it's not a big hit to do a price cut.
It'll be interesting to see what happens with it. I think sales are going to tell a lot. I'm anticipating a big dry spout in the summer as well. I think sales will be pretty steady through January. Then they might start dipping. But in the summer, if it gets really low, you could be experiencing a price cut. These 3 companies, in my opinion, have also been spoiling everybody as of late. Price cuts weren't this common. They're almost teaching the consumer not to buy.
I disagree completely. No, that's not true at all.
With the 3DS, the Wii U, and the Vita, the last 3 pieces of hardware we've got, they've both dropped within a year.
Yeah, but look,
It wasn't always like that.
No, it was. It was. If you look at the PS2 and the original Xbox, the original Xbox was just over a year, and it dropped from 300 to 200.
Okay.
That's a huge jump, because it's not like 600 to 500 is not necessarily the same from 3 to 2 because of the percentage.
Yeah, it's a 33% as opposed to 18 or whatever.
The same thing with the GameCube, dropped from 200 to 150 in that same time frame. I think it was like 16 months after launch. PS3, the same thing, from 3 to 2. It took the 360 basically I think they last price cut in 2009. I think was the last major price cut, to where the base model dropped to 200, and
With the
it's
4K.
still 200.
Yeah.
It's been 4 years. There hasn't been a price cut, and it took them 4 years to get to that price cut. So they were very slow with price cuts with the 360. I don't agree that they've price cut it a lot. The consoles right now are 200 a piece. The
PS3 and the
yeah, and
360.
that's not exactly cheap compared to what we're talking about 8-year-old hardware.
Yeah, compared to previous generation, that's what previous generations would launch at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Granted, there's inflation, but still, it's
consumers don't actually have more money than they used to.
right.
The
No, I
middle
agree.
class, at least.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Hmm.
All right. Microsoft says cable TV can't be duplicated by a la carte apps.
What?
Cable TV, the services that cable TV provides can't be duplicated by the apps that are on the Xbox. And that's why they went with their integrated cable HDMI thing.
It really could be if they just put a couple sports apps on there.
Well, that's the thing. That's basically the.
That's it. You
They're-
don't.
It's Blair Westlake, the corporate VP of Microsoft's Media and Entertainment Group, said, "If you don't have a subscription from a cable TV provider, what you instantly don't have access to cannot be duplicated through these 2 or 3 a la carte offerings that are out there," which is really what it is, 2 or 3. So I don't think it is in any way facilitating that, referring to whether the Xbox is going to help people cut cords.
That's a big reason on why I'll probably keep my 360.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need the cable plugged in. I don't have cable. I just have internet. I don't see a point. And the only thing I miss is live sports that's on cable, and I just go to my dad's to watch that.
Yeah.
And I avoid $100 a month in cable.
Yeah, no, I agree. I only
between
have cable.
between
but I-
Netflix and I just log in with my parents' account on the Comcast app, and just streaming stuff online. There's no reason to have cable anymore. It's actually better, like, if you have a little willpower and you could just wait a few hours, you could watch the same show without commercials, like, completely free on the internet. I don't know.
I miss the convenience of having. After I moved 4 months ago, I didn't get cable for that same reason. I'm like, I got Netflix, whatever. But I watch the news, and I lay on my couch and just have the news on while I fall asleep, and you lose that luxury. That's like the only thing I miss about cable. Literally the only thing.
Yeah, but is that worth $100 a month or $80 a month or whatever the hell it is?
No, I wish there was like a $30 a month app where I can just buy 5
Channels.
Yeah, that's the thing for me is
They'll never let it happen.
I can't justify the $70 for it or $50, whatever.
Me too.
it is.
There's like 3 channels I miss. I want Comcast Sportsnet, History Channel, and Discovery Channel. That's it.
Yeah.
The rest of cable could
Well,
literally go.
History and discoveries, you can get almost all of that stuff on YouTube, more or less. But like the
Which
news,
is what I do.
News stuff that changes, that's live, that's up to the minute. That I don't think.
So you miss CNN basically?
I do miss CNN.
Because
Yes.
I was gonna say you could get your local news at 2579, but that stuff's garbage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
poor news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You miss that. And
CNN's not great either, but it's more news
Better.
than well, because
then
it's
the
24 hours.
alternatives,
Yeah.
at least in terms of the
Yeah.
cable news.
Yeah, no, well, no, I'm talking about like TV news. I'm talking
I
about-
cut the cord a long time ago.
Yeah.
I've been fine. Never been happier.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the only reason I have cable TV now is because I got a really good deal. It's $100 for 50 meg internet plus like I get like 200 some odd channels and a TiVo.
That's good.
It's a good deal. And when they raise my price, I'll be cutting it and going back.
Yeah, I got the 50 meg internet.
Yeah.
50 a month. That's it.
So we're all in agreement that they're not seeing the future at all.
Well, Xbox has a lot of money invested in this. Of course,
They
they're
do.
going to
It's
say
true.
that. They don't want people to cut the cord. They want people to utilize this, but more and more. The fact of the matter is, more and more people are cutting the cord.
Why can't CNN? Who owns CNN? AOL
I
Time
don't know.
Warner?
I don't know.
Is it AOL Time
No
Warner
idea.
still? Do they like? Why can't they just go independent and just we're gonna launch an
It's all contractual nonsense. It's all they're either bundled with a bunch of other channels. Like that's how Viacom gets their stuff out. That's how
Right,
Disney
yeah.
and ESPN have all their stuff going. It's all bundled stuff. So it's all a big game where we would only want 1 or 2 channels to begin with, maybe 5 channels. I could say like 6 channels and I'd be done.
Yeah.
And even then, I only watch a couple of shows per channel. I wouldn't watch every show on that channel. And then Jason breaks the whole thing.
Whatever.
Um,
Look at it. Didn't even register. It's
yeah.
fine.
So, yeah. So we're all in agreement.
Yeah, rock on.
Yeah.
Okay. Microsoft semi-backpedaled on Xbox One backward compatibility. They could do something Gaikai style. They could. That doesn't mean they will. They probably won't. But they said they could do it if they wanted.
See, this brought up another interesting thing that happened a couple weeks ago that I just want some clarification. Like, I don't understand why these, like, now they're still buying smoke and mirrors with some of this crap. They're still saying now, okay, the Xbox One will be the only console launching with an HDMI in.
Mm-hmm.
So, in theory, you can plug your 360 into your One and use the One to play all the old stuff.
That was
Which
from
doesn't
Larry Herb.
which doesn't solve any problems, because to me it
useless.
sounds like you still need your Xbox 360 on,
Right.
and you still need it. So what the hell's the point? Just have that plugged straight into your TV.
Right.
Unless it's to utilize the new user. It doesn't make any sense.
Did
This is
he
what I'm trying to
actually
get
say
at.
that?
Yes, it doesn't make any sense, and they're not clarifying.
He wants gum.
Oh, I want that.
Oh, he wants.
Oh,
Here, dude. God. Here.
I'll break it.
Once again, train
I
of
won't
thought
eat
was
any
lost.
bananas.
It doesn't make sense.
Don't touch the bananas.
He just got crazy eyes. Don't you touch my bananas.
Did you drop them?
All the bananas are on the floor.
10-minute rule.
Look at all the bananas.
I know, because I preserved the
I'm
bananas
picking
for
out
later.
everything other than the
Did
bananas.
you drop one? Did you drop
Not
one?
a banana. It was a lime.
Oh, I feel like
Violated.
I can't see it. All right.
I'm not ready. Put it back in the box.
Back in the box.
My mouth is not ready.
Did you have more to say, or
I don't care. It doesn't.
That if he made that statement, what the hell? What's the point of making that statement?
Well, they didn't explain any of it. No, I started tailing on to what he said. They said that basically it's the only one with an HDMI in, and that like the 360 can plug into the Xbox One. And they left it at that. There's no clarification. There's no why would you want to do that? How is this
for all
beneficial?
the people who haven't bought a TV in several years, but will for some reason be buying a new Xbox because their TV only has one HDMI port. It's the only reason I can see someone doing that, and I can't imagine anybody who's buying the Xbox One at launch and has a 360 has a TV with one HDMI port.
Unless it allowed you to somehow access just like the hard drive portion of it without having to power the system on.
No, it's HDMI. It's only video and audio. There's nothing else going through.
Shut
that.
up, Brian. You don't know.
Actually, now that I think about it, my old TV in my office right now has only one HDMI input.
Well, there you go. See, now you have a reason to get
Well,
an
I can
Xbox One.
plug it in with the
you-
5 wires.
I know. I'm just kidding. A couple quick hits that we don't need to go into. The first Xbox One ad is all about the NFL app. What are video games again?
No, this was no. This was a good,
I heard it was a good ad. I heard it was a good ad.
A,
Yeah.
it was a good commercial. B, it was very intelligent.
Was it? I haven't seen it.
Every male was watching. Well, most males like football, and the first game of the year on Thursday night is a big deal, and a lot of people tuned in. And it was during one of the first commercial breaks when they cost more to advertise because people aren't 6 beers in yet, running to pee at every commercial break. That's why the first block always costs the most. Same thing in the Super Bowl. The first ads cost the.
Was this before or after the half-hour delay?
What in the game?
Due to the weather.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that. All the people that buy those blocks of ads, and then there was the 30-minute
People that
weather
are just
delay.
changing the channel.
Yeah.
They're like, well, the game's not going to start till 7:15. Well, let's see what else is on. The first thing that popped into my head as soon as that thing happened was like, God, the NFL, just like the way last year ended with the blackout at the Super Bowl and the way this year began, the NFL is like supposed to be the most powerful sporting in the States.
Supposed to be able to control the weather.
If
Yeah.
I can, it's because they transitioned to Microsoft. That's why they're having all these problems.
Doubt it.
Oh, okay.
Doubt it.
What?
Like they use all the Surface tablets and stuff now, and Microsoft technology. And
It rained. It's Microsoft's fault it rained.
It is. It is.
It's Microsoft's fault last
Steve Jobs up in the great beyond's like, ha 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 ha! Watch what I can do.
All right, moving away from Microsoft news, thankfully.
Right, true.
EA Sports UFC will be the first UFC game to feature female fighters. I want to know if they'll have an unlockable Maggie Fitzgerald.
Ooh.
$1 Million Baby.
She was a boxer.
I know, but it was a woman who likes to
Listen,
punch
listen. I've been fighting women for years now in fighting games and wrestling games, and like this isn't a big deal.
You know, they should have like a collaboration where you can play as like video game characters in a wrestling game. Like play like Laura Croft
You
versus
can
like
make her.
Rebecca Chambers.
I mean that's been the appeal to the WWE games where they create a characters.
yeah. Yeah, but
So,
that
I
is
mean,
cool.
PS4 will only support 4 controllers this time around rather than 7 on the PS3. The Xbox One can do 8.
Did anybody know that the PS3 supported more than 4 controllers?
yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Has anyone ever used it? No.
Yes.
Yeah, sports games.
Yeah,
Big
I-
sports
Brian, you
games.
never played a sports
I don't.
game.
I don't
I-
say I've ever done it. I'm just saying people have done it.
Yeah, I use it in NHL. So
Nobody wants
the
to play hockey with you at your
controllers
house.
are actually we used to throw big parties for NHL 10. The controllers, the buttons light up different. It's
Yeah, it's
1,
like
2, 3,
2,
4.
yeah.
Then it's 1, 4 is 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then
2, 4, 6.
no, because they don't switch it. Then it's 1. It goes backwards then.
Oh, okay.
So then it's 1, 3 is 6, and 1, 2 is 7. I think.
Okay.
That's
I
stupid.
think.
But the
Or it
Xbox
might be the
One-
other way around. I don't remember. We only utilized it a few times.
Mhm.
You only need it for
for like big parties and stuff.
football, hockey, and soccer, I suppose.
See, now I may actually end up using it because I was talking to you guys how frequently my cousins and stuff come over, and then we'll do like a little WWE tournament or whatever, and we always switch it off or whatever. For a feature like the Royal Rumble or something like that could be pretty cool to have 8 people sitting there playing it. Because what we frequently do, and we haven't since, and it's weird because Tony, you've been here for the past couple pay-per-views, is usually we sit down and we play some WWE before the pay-per-view starts. And we haven't. I think it's
Well,
your
they've been
fault.
getting bigger, haven't they?
Yeah.
Have you ever you're hitting like 20 people over here now per
WrestleMania
events.
has always been like that.
Yeah.
You know, actually, now that I think about it, I think wrestling games is the best example of a 6-player local game
Mhm.
that you can
Yeah.
think of.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh, it's so much fun. It is.
I played 4-player No Mercy so many times.
Oh.
I'd love to play 6-player No Mercy.
Why have they not ported that game? I mean, I understand they had, the licensing for the old characters and stuff, but
Just make the same engine, upgrade it
what I'm
a
saying.
little bit.
Plug in the new characters. Done.
All right. Killzone Mercenary will have a day 1 1.16 gigabyte patch. And I just had a joke about that I want to make, which is it's kind of it's a day 2 patch because PSN's really slow.
I think it's a 1.01.
are we really gonna debate?
I heard
Same.
1.16.
At
but that's
1.21 gigawatts? I mean,
Yes.
it's irrelevant.
I don't care. I'm getting this shit day one.
I just think it's a huge patch. But yeah, so that's happening.
It's about a
At least
quarter.
it's not 40 gigs like fucking Uncharted.
It's about
Oh, yeah,
a quarter
it's-
of the size of the game. The
Yeah, it
game's
is. It's
supposed
a
to come in
huge
a little
patch.
over 4 gigs.
Yeah, it's a huge patch. It's a huge chunk of the game's getting patched. Nintendo has lowered the price on Super Mario Galaxy 2, New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and Wii Sports Resort. They're finally less than $50. They're now $30.
30, not even
Nintendo
20.
is the only company that can get away with that.
When they lowered the price for Super Mario Galaxy, they made it a Nintendo Select
Yeah.
and made it $20.
Yeah.
Galaxy 2,
30.
years later, we're good with 30. I'm sure there's a mass amount of people that were like, I don't think the $50 price point does it for me. But 30, well, I think I can find,
Dungeons & Dragons Chronicles of Mystara finally launched on the Wii U 4 months after everyone else. It had lots of bugs. We discussed this already. I don't know if we discussed this on camera. Rayman Legends on Vita is missing 28 levels that will be patched into a later date. Torchlight 2 has officially announced they won't come to consoles as opposed to the previous one, which did. I had a quick joke about that, which was it's okay because by the time the Mac version is out, the Xbox 4 will be able to virtualize Windows games anyway. Because they've been working on a Mac version of Torchlight 2 for like a year and a half. Maybe even
Really?
longer. Torchlight 2 came out in like 2011, right?
It's old now.
Yeah.
It was right before Diablo 3.
They said that they were working on the Mac port after launching the Windows port. It's been like 2 years.
Where's fucking SimCity that's been out since?
SimCity came out for Mac. SimCity, the new one?
Then it just came out
It just came out like a
past
week
2
or so
weeks.
ago, yeah. And it had the same bugs that the PC one did.
Now I gotta buy that. Damn it.
Keiji Inafune announced Mighty Number 9.
God bless you.
A spiritual successor to Mega Man. Why did I laugh so late at that? It's a spiritual successor to Mega Man 9 or Mega Man. It's also a stylistic successor, a musical successor, and a design successor. I'm in. I'm ready to
Yeah.
play it.
Did you kickstart it?
I did.
The only thing I don't like about it is it's not 8-bit. But
Yeah, no, it's
I'm
And he comes
Yeah.
out and he's like, yeah, what's the character's name?
it's version 1.01, 1190 meg.
Damn it.
What's
I
the
read it
character-
wrong.
What's the
Yeah.
character's name?
Oh, it's
Damn it.
But whatever it is.
His name is
huh?
Beck, and then
Yeah.
the girl's name is Call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he said that Beck can kick Mega Man's ass.
No.
Yeah.
That's the guy's name, Beck.
Yeah.
Beck is the
Everybody's
guy.
gonna call him Mega Man.
Yeah.
It's Mega Man 11.
The Kickstarter for Elementary My Dear
You need to
Watson
make that.
on the Ouya was suspended. Many high-dollar donors were first-time backers, which raised questions about their validity. Turns out they were not valid. Apparently, Tyrion Lannister was not kickstarting the game.
Game of Thrones guys just kickstarting
Apparently,
left and right.
apparently people were signing up as celebrities and kickstarting. Yeah, that one.
No, this thing was it was really shady because like the average for even really high backing stuff on Kickstarter is like $30 or $40 a package.
Yeah.
That's like the really high successful stuff.
Yeah.
And this had a median of like $400 and something dollars.
If I can really quick, since we're talking about Kickstarter,
Mm-hmm.
literally, our friends over at Missing World Media are waiting right now for their verification to start their Kickstarter for that. So hopefully by the time this airs, they'll have started. We're gonna tag up with them sometime in the near future.
I've been emailing her back and forth.
Yeah. I was like, give me them digits.
We'll see. She's in London.
Didn't you want to do that Euro trip?
This guy.
State of Decay will be hitting Steam Early Access in a couple weeks or so. Some people like that game. And finally, on this... Well, you know what? I'll just mention this. The sexual assault scene was removed from the Hotline Miami 2 demo. Apparently, if you throw a rape at the end of your demo, people will get upset.
Oh no, you said that.
Especially when there's no context.
We just lost video.
Did we?
No.
no. It's,
Oh.
Oh, it's like what?
he said the magic word that kills video. Or kills
Oh,
the podcast.
dude, it's done. We lost this show.
Yep. It's all downhill from here.
Why? What happened?
I'll tell you
Is
later.
that the secret word you're supposed to do when you want people to stop?
No, that's the secret
No,
word that kills the podcast.
Every episode we've lost in forward compatible history had utilized that one keyword in it. Somewhere we realized that is the
demo?
one.
Yes.
Yes, demo. Yes. So we stay away from that word.
Yeah.
Now we're doubly screwed. So
We just
we'll
lost part
see.
two.
We'll see. We haven't even started recording. It's gone.
Okay,
So
I
we'll
was
see.
aware.
This could be the one that breaks the curse of the demo.
Yeah, since Brian said it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
Okay.
get away with it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's competent enough for us to move on to.
You gotta wait for him to set us up.
Yeah.
That was like a dying otter. Jason's just scratching his head. He's just like, Jesus. Oh, man.
Like I wasn't even ready. You guys like best Sammy impersonators?
Oh, shit.
She was coming to squeeze the dog until he yelps.
I'm trying to say Gmail.
Well, I guess it's time for.
Alright. Oh god. Is it time for
These are getting so out of hand. What's happening on the Gmail fronts? Gmail fronts this week.
Kevin
Kevin.
asked, "Why is Mark so cute?"
Oh, that Kevin.
Is this a family friend?
Yeah. He's been on the show before.
I don't remember Kevin.
Maybe it was a Blacklist. No, he's been on the show before.
Before me.
No, he was at your house.
Okay.
It was your old apartment, though. He's been on the show before.
Okay.
No, the one before that, even. No, it was. Wait, I don't remember.
Either way,
Yeah.
Kevin asked, "Why is Mark so cute?"
He just is. It's genetics. I mean, when you come out handsome like Mark, it just, it's just part of life.
I think it's the eyes.
I
Brian?
think it's the emo boy hair.
Oh, what you guys? There's a quality to him that is almost ethereal, and trying to put it into words kind of defeats it. You just have to. It's just as murky.
It's just hard to truncate all your
you
emotions
can't,
into.
You can't put it into words.
This has been episode 8.
This show's gone off the rails this week.
It's the eyes.
It's the eyes.
Brendan Joyce.
What's up, B?
He asked, "What game were you addicted to the most in the past?"
Like ever?
Yeah.
Most addicting game ever. I'll start off. My first online multiplayer game that I played on Xbox Live, Unreal Championship. Probably
Really?
played 600 hours of that game over the course of a year and a half. I spent more time playing that game than any video game that I've ever played.
Nice.
So, I guess that's an addiction.
Yeah.
It was the newness of online multiplayer, playing with friends, voice chatting,
Okay.
and that's what it was.
So many new elements all at one time, yeah.
Yeah.
Brian? Most addicting game?
You know, it's hard to say. For a while, I was on a big Street Fighter kick. I played a lot of Street Fighter. I pretty much was all about Street Fighter 2. But I could only play at arcades, so I had to walk to an arcade to play it, so it was not like I was playing it all the time. There was a summer where I beat Final Fantasy 2 3 times on the Super Nintendo.
Really?
Jesus.
It's pretty much all I did.
So
for
many
weeks.
hours.
It wasn't. It was one of the shorter Final Fantasies, but it was still pretty long.
Huh?
Mine's probably Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4, the original one.
The last good one?
No, World at War was the last good one. But it was such a step up from online. What? I'll kill you. Kill you.
Nothing happened.
It was such a huge step up from every online shooter that's been around before that. And that's the game everything's still trying to replicate and mimic. Nothing's changed since 2007 when it came out
You really think that was bigger than like Halo 2?
with what it did for the genre. Oh, yeah.
I think Halo 2 was a bigger for the genre.
I want to agree with you, but the problem
Halo
is,
2 is a better game.
is
but
that Call of Duty Modern Warfare was able to appeal to a larger audience.
It's,
Well, yeah,
it's
I'm not denying that.
It's
but I'm saying-
standardized first-person shooters. Like, the button scheme that you still use in most... Because if you look from Call of Duty 3 to Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, the buttons are even different. Call of Duty 4 is what set all that up. Call of Duty 4 is what pretty much made the loadouts, like, standard in the industry. It made, like, well... I want to say it made clans. It made clans very popular. Like, it brought a lot to it. I don't know.
I would say that's the birth of the
Like,
blue game.
just knifing the
Yeah.
R3, but that's Call of Duty 4. They brought, I don't know.
I think that from online infrastructure, I think Halo was the matchmaking. I think that was the big thing. I don't know.
Those are probably the two biggest.
Yeah.
You know, I just realized
Go ahead.
I played through all of Mass Effect in like the whole series in like 4 months nonstop.
Yeah, I beat all 3 Uncharted's in like a combined
You did. That's true.
total of 12 days.
You did. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I guess that's kind of.
And then I lost.
And then you lost.
I lost. Has anyone ever canceled a date to do a raid?
No.
I have.
Cancel the dates to do a raid.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
I'm
supposed to have dinner with the girlfriend,
No,
and
no.
I'm like, no, we're fighting Hamadan.
I'm pretty big into video games, but if there's a female companion that wants to hang out for the evening, I tend to put that in front of video gaming because you can always come back to the video gaming, whereas the female companion may not
No,
want
but
to hang
the
out.
raids are time sensitive.
Yeah, raids are time sensitive. All the components have to line up properly.
This is
not that I'm
I mean,
disagreeing
we're talking
with you.
like a
This
fifth-
is
not that I
one. This is
disagree
one
with
thing
you.
I'm proud to be in the
Yeah.
minority on at this table.
We're talking
That's fine.
about a 50-man raid on an endgame boss. So, first time too.
It's okay. You can pick 50 dudes over one chick. That's cool. I picked the one chick.
There could have been chicks in that. I mean,
I'm
You can also
I'm
do
with
50,
you.
50 dudes.
so obviously.
I'm
for
sorry.
me-
And I'd like to know my girl. She's playing Animal Crossing right now with her headphones.
You should throw a goldfish at her.
This is happening live.
So, it doesn't work if you throw it and no one says anything. You gotta keep going.
It wasn't my fault. I'm just blankly staring forward. That's all. I'm not.
There's nothing conspicuous about that. Everyone's just. Why don't we just whistle too while we're at it?
Start twiddling thumbs.
So, City of Heroes. I had a pretty severe addiction to.
50 dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it.
I mean, there was times literally that like I'd
dudes.
I'd log off about 45 minutes before I had to be at GameStop to open in the morning. And then the countless hours spent playing Horde mode in Gears 2 would have to be a close second. I probably put at least an entire summer into that game, like without fail.
Mark might make it for part 2.
All right, that's what do you think? OMW, like
I got it.
Jesus.
God, relax.
All right.
God,
Next
damn it.
question in the Gmail.
The mail of the G-like nature.
It's G-Fail this week.
Gmail.
G-Phil.
Gmail.
Metro Android.
What's going on, sir?
He asked, "What's the greatest misconception in gaming that you wish you could change?"
It's getting better in the last, I want to say, 4 or 5 years with how mainstream it's been getting, but the whole idea of what makes a gamer, just look at this table. We're all pretty good friends, and look at how
I hate all of you. I don't know what you're talking
significantly different we all are from one another, and it's like one of the major things that brings us together. We don't all fit in a little box, if you will. Like, I was watching some media outlet was making a big deal about how Tyra Banks on her show had this thing where this poor guy was like just sitting there, and his girlfriend was mad because they didn't go out enough, so she dragged him to Tyra Banks, and then, of course, all the girls were ganging up on this dude, and she's like, well, what does he do? And he's like, well, she's like, oh, he's always sitting around playing video games. And then, like, the whole audience is booing him and shit, and then Tyra's on there, she's like, you're in your 30s, video games are for kids and stuff, and it's like, the media.
Ignorance.
Yeah, like the whole thing, the whole concept of how we're viewed is ridiculous.
Are we putting an official boycott?
On Tyra Banks show.
This is old now. This happened like 7 or 8 months ago now, but it's just, this made me think of it.
We're unforgiving.
I had heard about that too.
I think I brought it up on the show.
I don't know.
And this poor guy, like, when you got a room full of women yelling at you,
I'm like, well,
he just shrunk.
Cycles are syncing up. And,
Yeah, he just like sunk into his chair, and he's just like, I'll try to do better, babe, but like, it was just
man.
like yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
that would be like breakup time for me. Like, I'm not saying that you shouldn't pay more attention to your girlfriend than to video games, but if your
What are you trying
girlfriend
to say? It only happened a couple times, man. Raids are raids, especially.
and
when
you're very lucky that
50
you stuck
dudes
around.
only get together once.
when you're
Once, maybe twice.
when you're leading the raid and everybody's looking to you for the leadership role. It's.
All I'm saying is, if my girlfriend dragged me onto the show to complain about the fact that I was playing video games, I'd be like, there's something in this relationship here that's just not going to work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'd be like, forget it. Obviously, there's just something here that's no good, and I'd probably be done.
It would have been done before you ever made it to Tyra Banks.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, that would probably be the case for me.
One of my big issues, and I know I bring it up a lot, but that's because I'm probably as equally much of a wrestling fan as I am a gamer, and that's just like the stereotype that like you were talking about. It's looked at as such a redheaded stepchild form of media and or art. Like people tend to turn their nose up to
But
wrestling.
isn't that true?
No, it's not.
Jokes.
Jokes. Them's
We got
jokes.
jokes, yeah. G-fail.
G-fail.
From now on, whenever there's a bad joke, it's G-fail. But yeah, it's just this big misconception that everyone has that just because you like one form of entertainment or another, that it's like not up to social standard or whatever the case may be. It's just stupid. I still hate Doctor Who though.
We'll go a different direction with what I think is a big misconception. I think a lot of times when people complain and moan, when it's not the majority, but it seems like the majority because it's like, that term,
The vocal minority, yeah.
It bothers me a little bit, and it's a misconception of what universally people believe or want. And sometimes I think the gamers don't actually fully speak, but just a select few speak for us. By select few, I mean a couple 100,000 instead of the mass.
Yeah, just like, I mean, I know we lost part of it, but it goes back to that whole Phil Fish thing where, like, Cliffy B was speaking on behalf of, like, we want you back, Phil Fish. No, we don't.
Yeah. So it's a minor complaint, but
In terms of misconceptions that I would like changed, I would probably side with Tony on the whole idiot man-child stance that people tend to take on gamers. It's getting old, and I've had to deal with it because I'm not the oldest. I don't think I'm the oldest. I'm not the oldest person in this room. I don't know. Am I 33?
Yeah.
I've always had to deal with that.
You grew up before us. Now you had a head start. You were in it when it was really shitty. Whenever it was just
speaking of that,
this
you guys,
pimply kid in his mother's basement.
Yeah, that I got a lot of
everything
that.
Dungeon and Dragon and
Speaking of that, when you guys talk last week about Dungeons and Dragons, you guys apparently aren't aware that in the 80s, there was a problem with Dungeons and Dragons. There were movies starring Tom Hanks about how dangerous Dungeons and Dragons were.
I have to find this.
Mazes and Monsters.
Really?
He freaks out and jumps out a window at some point. I think he does that. I know Mazes and Monsters is where he goes nuts. There were stories when I was younger about how kids were playing Dungeons and Dragons and went satanic and killed their parents. It was a whole big thing.
this has gone on with
And
every,
Ozzy led
It goes
the
on.
charge.
It goes on with
every
everything.
single
It
form of
happens.
new media. This starts
But
with
that
TV
happens, yeah.
that brainwashed you and rock and roll, which was just corrupting the youth of
Yeah.
America. and-
Rap was
Yeah,
causing people to shoot,
Yeah, but
people.
Dungeons and Dragons had that too for a while. And it was a whole big thing in the 80s, I remember. Because I was actually...
Video games are going through it right now.
Yeah.
That it's turning us all into killers.
Yep.
Every problem in the world is video games' fault.
And every time I shoot one of those people, they just get mad at me. I don't understand
Yeah. It's like, dude, I'm shooting them on my own accord. It has nothing to do with video games.
Exactly. I'm damaged in other ways, guys.
This just reminded me of a story. There's this Nintendo commentary guy. His name is the Game Jew, and he used to make puppet shows and everything.
All right.
And he has a puppet show of Mario and Toad, and they're complaining about violent video games. And this what's his name? The Jack Thompson. The
Yeah. The one who got disbarred because he went so crazy with it.
And then Toad is like, I think we should kill Jack Thompson. Kill Jack Thompson? That would just prove his point. That's the puppet show.
You gotta look that up after we're done. I want to check. I want to actually check that out. It sounds good. Actually, I have another one. I don't know how well it fits into this, but
By all means, sir.
the rabbit. This has become more. It's always existed, but it's become like a plague as of late, and the fucking fanboyism. It's ridiculous, dude. When you really boil it down, these things are pieces of plastic with a disc tray in them. That's it. Just play what makes you happy.
Yeah, but
I don't
one
like
is the devil and one is
Play
Jesus.
with what makes you happy.
Yes. There's just
I was talking to my iPad.
So much. Yeah, obviously. There's just like so much needless hate on every. Like I'm just like on just surfing on the net, reading video game articles, and you go down the comment section and half apply to, not even half are contributing to the article. They're having a discussion, enjoying themselves as they're furthering the article, and then the other 60 to 70% is just Wii U sucks, 360 sucks, PS4 sucks, all this sucks. It's
What I think
and it's like a Killzone review.
Look, I think a lot.
What
of
does this have to do with the Wii U?
Yeah.
This is what I see. It's maybe a little sidetrack, but some people like reading stuff for the games, but I think for some people
It's comments.
they're looking up a Killzone review to want to know about Killzone
Yeah.
and want to know about the game. Some people, I think those discussions though is the game for them. That is what they like to do. That is what they enjoy doing.
More than playing the game itself.
Yes. I think people are addicted to that sort of thing.
It's just so annoying, though, to me personally.
I think a lot of people. This is even myself included. Sometimes I get engaged in debate, in conversation, argument.
Debate is healthy, though. Conversation about what's going on.
Well,
You're not just saying, screw this. I can't stand PlayStation.
Well, what I'm saying is I get into debate and stuff about games that I don't even play because it's.
So you're trolling.
I'm not trolling. I'm interested in the industry.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in the journalism side of things almost as much as the playing side of things. So I think it's a game within a game.
A wise man once said in a movie that came out in 2001, he quoted exactly what the internet is for.
Yeah. It's a way for people to bitch about movies and share pornography with one another.
Who is this wise man?
Ben
Ben
Affleck.
Affleck.
Well, Ben Affleck. Kevin Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Holden McNeil from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yes, in 2001.
Holden.
Which is
Jay says, "What the fuck is the internet?"
yeah.
And he shows them that it's a place for people to complain about movies and
Share pornography.
And the best part about that is that's the quote that everybody's been running for Ben Affleck's response to the internet backlash about him being Batman.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah.
It is. It is.
No, but it's just like I've touched on this greater before. I'll keep it brief now. But everybody's like, we should all be on the same side. It doesn't matter if you don't like what Sony's doing. You shouldn't be like hoping for them to burn down.
No, you're supposed to hope Microsoft burns down.
Yeah, sure. But it's just like I don't know. It's just like I don't know. You should all be on the same team. There's so many people ganging up, like what I said with my first point, against gamers in general. Like why should I'll just make it more uncomfortable for you. Why shouldn't we all be siding with one another and just kind of showing the world that it's different? Like just because you don't like a game, there's a ton of games I don't like out there. I don't sit there and complain about them all constantly.
As long as they're not made by Phil Fish.
Huh?
As long as they're not made by Phil Fish.
I was the only one on his side with that. I don't like his game either, but
I was just smart.
whatever, yeah. That's it.
You are correct.
Yep. Yeah, agreed.
For once. Andrew Dillon!
For always.
Andrew Dillon!
Our new bullshit checker.
Hi, Andrew.
What did we need Andrew to look up?
The bullshit checker, right?
Yeah.
But you about who was on more
Who's been on
episodes?
more episodes?
Okay, so there was
We have a weekend.
there was
Yeah, it's maybe a bit much to ask.
there was a fight before the show
I don't know if I'd
started.
call it a fight.
There was blood drawn. It was a fight.
Yeah, but it was
It was
like
only like a 10-minute trip to the hospital.
Yeah, so
just one stab to the gut does not really mean a fight.
we didn't know where anyone was sitting because that's the guest seat, and Mark obviously wasn't here. And then we decided on who was on more episodes, and we guessed, and we think it was Mossy's.
I thought it was Mossy's.
Yeah.
Well, then I second guessed myself, but we already came to that
Well,
conclusion.
your first appearance was back in Generation 1.
Yeah, Gen 1.
Gen 1.
I just made that term up,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Gen 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gen 1. With,
Or AKA the Dark Days of Joe.
Do we have generations?
Well, I'm Gen 2.
Yeah, we're Gen
This
2.
is like Gen 4.
Gen 4?
We started off audio
Just like Pearl
only
and Diamond?
with a different setup and a different crew. Then there was the dark ages
Yeah.
when we broke out on our own, and we were here 3 apartments ago, where we were on Rock Band mics because we didn't have the equipment yet.
That was
and
Gen 2.
That was Gen 2. Gen 3 is when we finally got everything situated, and now we're on Gen 4 with video.
Yeah. But yeah, his first appearance was Gen 1.
I've been on all 4 Well, I was not on Rock.
No,
Rock-
you were not in the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages only lasted a month. Then we got our shit together.
Yeah.
I went from Gen 1 to Gen 3
Yeah.
in the other apartment.
Yeah, he said fuck Gen 2. He's like, it doesn't look like much of an
Well,
upgrade.
Gen 2
I'm just going to skip
like
it.
Gold and silver. Like,
And
Just
I
jumped
think, I
straight
think
to Ruby and
technically
Sapphire.
Brian, you would be considered
Nobody
all
gets
Gen
it.
4.
No, he was Gen 3. He's been on before video.
nobody's
I
getting
was
my,
on before
Is
video,
anybody
yeah.
getting my Pokemon references? Bro?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I never played them, but I've sold so many copies.
Actually, Gen 3 sucked.
Speaking of generations, see that segue there?
I like that.
Andrew Dillon asked, what next-gen launch games are you planning on picking up day one?
Watch Dogs, The Order.
Order is not a launch day.
Oh, it's not?
Bam! Suck it.
Watch Dogs.
That's not a next gen game.
No. I guess Knack. Is Knack a launch game?
Yeah, Knack.
I'm getting Knack.
Knack is the one.
Yeah.
If I don't know if I'll get it, I don't think I'll get a PS4, but at launch. But I'll probably pick up Knack. It looks fun.
Killzone, Rise, Forza 5, and I'm leaning more and more to. When's Titanfall releasing?
I
Spring.
have no idea.
Okay,
Around
then
launch
not.
time.
Then that doesn't count. And Battlefield 4.
Not a next gen game.
Still though, I'm gonna just name off everything that I'm picking up day one.
I think Battlefield 4 is.
That's coming out on the PS3.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a really shitty version of it.
Well, so is like what? Madden?
No, Madden I think is completely this gen. It's
Yeah.
being ported up. I think Killzone's the other way around.
I've got Watch Dogs and Battlefield, which are cross-gen. Okay. Then I've got Dead Rising 3, Rise, Forza 5.
Can I rephrase the question to you, Jason? Is there any exclusive Xbox 360, Xbox One non-Connect game that you are not getting at launch?
Dead Rising's not Connect.
No, that I'm saying not counting the Connect games.
Oh.
You're not going to get those.
What
What are the exclusive Xbox One?
Me, Forza, and Rise.
Forza, Rise,
And then I'm doing Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. Are those
yeah.
the three exclusives?
Yeah.
Is there any other exclusives they have? Day one?
I don't
No.
think so.
Is
The whole library.
Destiny's not launched.
Oh, that's
and
not-
Infamous not launched. Yeah.
Destiny's not next gen either.
Infamous
It's
looks
cross-gen.
really
Is
good.
Is it going on the previous gens?
Yeah, Destiny's a
know that.
360 and PS3 game.
But that's gonna be the same thing as, in my opinion, as Battlefield 4 is because
Yeah,
that's
I think it's gonna be-
it's still an always online game that's very using all the tech from next gen, and they're just making it available on the 360.
I don't know. I think because any game that's cross-platform, I think they have to devote resources to that, so it's not full potential. It's the middle ground.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay. So that's our questions for this. Andrew Dillon got our Impoverished Geek question of the week last week.
You unwrapped it?
Masas did.
He told me to. No, let me describe this. He told me to sign the thing,
Yeah.
and it had wrapping over it.
It's
I'm
fine.
like, should I sign the
It was
wrapping?
still sealed.
It's gonna be worth more with this guy's signature anyways. Because he's kind of a big deal. But I want
Kind
to
of.
see look at. Anyways, the question from last week was, what was Ganondorf's last name? And Mas?
Dragmire.
So, live on air, we're going to have Mas
Special guest.
on the inside of the book, right here on this
We're
nice
just wrapping
white
up part
page.
one.
Mark your seat.
This nice white page here.
I was just saying, we have that one right over there.
Mas is going to sign the book. So you want to step over in front of the camera here? We've got a lovely brown Sharpie.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So go ahead, send Andrew a little note in there.
Start plugging, sir.
We're not there yet. Hold on.
We're all just gonna sit there
So
and
we're
watch
gonna
him
sit-
sign?
Yeah.
At what part?
The little one, that's right there.
You did a lot of double sending this last
To
week.
our-
didn't you?
To our beloved bullshit checker.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Well, Moss does that. How do you pronounce his name?
Lykios.
Lykios sent us in a Impoverished Geek question of the week.
All
this
right.
week. He said, "What is the spiritual prequel to the Illusions of Gaia?"
Oh,
That's his Impoverished Geek question.
Hell,
this
I
week.
have no idea.
I believe I know the answer to this question, but
You
I
did
won't
include
say
it,
a
right? You
word.
did.
Yes, he did include it.
Me and him tried to party chat, and then we realized, oh yeah, the PlayStation 3 doesn't support cross-game chat.
So,
yeah, we're into
since
that.
Mark's joining us all late,
Yeah,
I'm going to have Mark read off the list of plugs.
yeah,
Let's
plugs.
see if he can get it right this time.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. FC compatible, right?
Yeah.
Alrighty, you can visit us at FwdCompatible.org. You can give us a like over at Facebook.com/FwdCompatible podcast. You can follow us on the Twitter at FCompatible. Oh, look at that. You can like, comment, share us. Our YouTube is youtube.com/FwdCompatible. Like, comment, share us on iTunes and Stitcher.
Please leave us a review on iTunes. That helps us get into the
higher on the
up.
rankings.
There you go.
We wanna
Even if you utilize us on YouTube, do it one time, rate us up,
Yeah,
go back to
we
YouTube.
want to break the top 200.
How hard is that?
Not very.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you find us?
You can't see it past 200.
Okay, because that's what I
So,
thought.
but I looked at some like how many ratings like 200 had. we're within striking distance of breaking top 200 for gaming podcast.
That's awesome. There you go. Our PSN and Xbox Live accounts are FWD
Should
compatible.
you have let it dry? Is it gonna?
We're gonna sign the back.
Oh, you gotta read.
Our Skype name is FwdCompatible. And we have a Steam community group, which is steamcommunity.com
Should write your website.
//groups/FWD compatible. And if you have any questions, you can send it to FwdCompatible@gmail.com.
And where can they answer the Impoverished Geek question of the week at?
Are we doing the email?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, what
that
are we
is-
giving away this week?
I don't know.
Surprise?
Surprise.
That is the
We still
thing.
got Steam codes. We still got a bunch of stuff.
We got T-shirts. We got
We got stuff.
T-shirts, buttons, DVDs. No.
we got a lot of crap over there.
Does it look like I'm sitting?
Kind of does.
A little bit. You're like too
Okay,
forward
lean
though.
forward a bit,
Just
yeah.
lean back a little bit. Square up. So you can send the answer to FwdCompatible podcast at
Gfail.
.com.
Oh, you missed that. It's a new thing. It's Gfail.
Gfail? Why? What happened?
Everybody just
Yes, Mark. Yes.
I'm assuming that it's because
Everything
no
went
one's
haywire.
saying Gmail anymore.
everything went haywire. I'll do this off the air. Well set. All right,
David Letterman.
This has been episode. You had to get it in there, didn't you? All right, this has been episode 83, part 1. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Catch us next